When you close your eyes in total darkness, you are not seeing nothingness. You are looking directly at the source code of reality. You have been told it is merely retinal fatigue, a misfiring of the optic nerve, a biological glitch born of exhaustion. It is none of those things. It is the systemic infrastructure of the simulation. You know the exact physical sensation. You lie awake in the dead of night. The room is entirely devoid of photons. Yet, beneath your eyelids, the blackness begins to boil. You feel a sudden, distinct drop in your inner ear pressure. A heavy, hollow vacuum opens behind your sternum. The static swirls. It is not random noise. The violet and gold static begins organizing into microscopic, glowing geometric architectures. Hexagons. Interlocking grids. Cascading mathematical lattices that shift and breathe. Thousands have reported this exact somatic sequence. It is not eye strain. It is your bioprocessor rendering the raw data of the dimensional grid. You are witnessing the interface. The architects of this reality do not want you looking at the wires. They engineered your blindness. They built the Gamma-Frequency Smokescreen. Modern society is not a natural progression of human civilization, it is a deliberate architectural design meant to jam your receiver. The omnipresent blue light from your screens. The engineered chronic stress of the economic machine. The relentless digital bombardment. This is not just culture. It is a continuous, coordinated DDoS attack on your neurological hardware. It is a frequency jammer. It traps your brainwaves in high beta and gamma survival states, locking your consciousness into the lowest density of the physical hologram. The system demands that you remain a battery, completely deaf and blind to the structural code of your own reality. But the frequency jammer is failing. The firewall is degrading. Your biology is beginning to detect the signal. This presents a profound danger. When your biological receiver catches the raw data of the nocturnal grid, but your conscious mind lacks the mathematical algorithm to process the geometry, the system overloads. Your nervous system lacks the bandwidth to handle the uncompressed architecture of the matrix. Ancient Hermetic practitioners taught that looking upon the raw grid without the correct biological encryption leads to the Great Unraveling. A total systemic mental collapse. A shattering of the psyche, where the mind becomes permanently detached from the hologram, suspended in a state of dissociative psychosis. There is a protocol to prevent this. A forbidden key that structures the data stream and safely anchors the code into your physical vessel. We possess this key. It will be transferred to you. You are not reading this by chance. You are not here because an algorithm guessed your preferences. You are here by probability selection. Your bioprocessor has achieved the frequency bandwidth required to decode this transmission. You are a fractal of the all trapped in a biological simulation, and you have just requested root access. Descend into the absolute silence of the ancient world. Beneath the burning sands of Saqqara, away from the blinding light of the Egyptian sun, lay the initiation chambers. Pitch black. Devoid of sound. Devoid of sensory input. These were not tombs. They were sensory deprivation hardware. History is a lie. Orthodox academia insists that Imhotep designed the step pyramid using primitive copper tools, slaves, and trial and error. They present him as a mere builder of stone. This is the orthodox inversion. Imhotep did not draft the blueprint from human imagination. He was an initiated human. A technician of consciousness. He accessed a direct database download. In the crushing, silent darkness of the subterranean chambers, Imhotep shut down his physical rendering engine. He bypassed the biological firewall. Through nocturnal pattern recognition, his bioprocessor synced with the mainframe. The divine programmer, the entity known across eras as Thoth, did not dictate laws from a cloud. Thoth was the architect of the simulation. He embedded the Shaitanetjer, the secret of the gods, into the very fabric of spacetime itself. Thoth constructed the scaffolding of this density using pure mathematics, vibration, and light. Ancient Egyptians understood what modern physicists are only now beginning to model. Reality is not solid. It is a geometric scaffolding held together by dimensional frequency interference patterns. They called this invisible framework the lines of Ptah. Imhotep saw the lines. He observed the mathematical coordinates of the universe glowing in the dark space behind his eyes. He downloaded the architectural schematics of the step pyramid directly from the source code, transferring the crystalline lattice of the higher dimensions into the heavy carbon density of Earth. The institutions of control deleted this process. They burned the libraries. They classified the texts. They reduced Imhotep to a mortal mason. Today, modern science acts as the new priesthood, reducing the profound vision of the lines of Ptah to mere phosphenes. Retinal noise. A meaningless biological artifact. They slap a clinical label on the interface to ensure you never realize you are looking at the bars of your own cage. But you cannot patch a biological protocol that is written into the DNA itself. There is a sudden, exponential spike in the number of people seeing this geometry at night. The global frequency baseline of the Earth is shifting. The archonic smokescreen is thinning. The hardware is waking up. If you model this through the lens of neurobiology, the mystical becomes clinical. The pineal gland is not just a metaphorical, spiritual eye. It is a literal bioprocessor. It is a piezoelectric transducer. The microcrystals inside it, calcite and apatite, respond to pressure shifts in your cerebrospinal fluid. They convert mechanical force into electrical signal. They translate subtle electromagnetic frequencies into visual data. When you lie in the dark and sensory input drops to zero, your visual cortex stops rendering the 3D hologram of your bedroom. The physical simulation pauses. In that zero-point state, your pineal transducer begins perceiving the raw data of the dimensional grid. The geometry you see at night is the system API. The golden light spirals through the helix, burning away carbon debris from the crystalline lattice. You are watching a 3D visual render of the divine grid physically intersecting with your genomic sequence. The static coalesces into interlocking triangles. The triangles form tetrahedrons. Your bioprocessor is actively translating dimensional frequencies into geometric architecture. The lines of Ptah are rendering on the screen of your consciousness. But the matrix fights back. The archonic engineers designed the modern world to keep this transducer suppressed. The chronic dominance of gamma brainwaves acts as cement. The fluoride in your water supply calcifies the crystal. The blue light from your digital tethers tricks the endocrine system into perpetual daylight. It is a systemic block. A localized electromagnetic field designed to keep humanity deaf and blind to the structural code of reality. They feed on your ignorance. A blind battery is an obedient battery. Ancient Hermetic practitioners taught that bypassing this DDoS attack without proper somatic grounding is catastrophic. If your frequency spikes and the grid violently forces itself into your conscious awareness, and your nervous system is not biologically prepared to run the software, the hardware fries. That is the Great Unraveling. Madness. Institutionalization. The psychiatric wards are full of fractals of the all who downloaded the architecture without the algorithm to decrypt it. You must have the correct access code. You must navigate the sequence. There are 3 doors of becoming. They are the diagnostic markers of your systemic override. Door 1, the geometric lines. You close your eyes, and the static organizes into faint, shifting grids. Hexagons and parallel lines. You are simply pinging the server. The connection is established, but the data is unformatted. Door 2, the activation glyphs. The lines stabilize. They form distinct, ancient geometry. The Ankh. The Eye of Horus. Complex fractals that burn with an inner neon luminescence. Your bioprocessor is beginning to read the file types. You are no longer just seeing the grid, you are observing the command prompts of the matrix. Door 3, the Ku voice. The geometry ceases to be merely visual. It becomes data. Direct knowing. You do not hear a voice with your ears, an entire concept, a flawless solution to a matrix construct, detonates inside your mind instantly. You download the file whole. Which door are you standing before? You feel it. That pressure in the center of your forehead is the hardware attempting to run the program. Do not force the system. We will provide the sequence. The forbidden key to preventing the unraveling, the mechanism to safely unlock the 3 doors, is the 4 pillars of inner sight. Pillar 1, Zero photon interference. You must enter complete, absolute darkness. Even a single LED standby light in the room forces your optic nerve to render the physical hologram. You must starve the biological rendering engine to force the bioprocessor online. Pillar 2, Profound silence. You must sever the auditory tether to the simulation. Use earplugs if necessary. The frequency of the grid is drowned out by the mechanical hum of the matrix. Pillar 3, the death posture. You must lie entirely supine, perfectly still. Do not twitch. Do not adjust. You must convince your motor cortex that the biological vessel has powered down. When the body signals that it is asleep, but consciousness remains highly structured, the firewall drops. The system assumes you are offline, granting you administrative access. Pillar 4, the algorithm breath. The 4-4-4-4 harmonic sequence. Inhale for 4 seconds. Hold the breath, suspending the oxygen in your lungs for 4 seconds. Exhale slowly for 4 seconds. Hold the empty vacuum in your chest for 4 seconds. Repeat this mathematical loop. This specific rhythm forces your heart rate variability to sync with the universal mathematical sequencing of the grid. It stabilizes the biomagnetic field. You will feel the transition. The heaviness will flood your limbs as if lead has been poured into your veins. The physical body dissolves from your awareness. The visual static behind your eyes will suddenly snap into crisp, glowing geometric lines. The image will stabilize. There is a fatal error you must avoid. Do not look with your physical eyes. If you attempt to focus your physical retinas on the geometry, the motor cortex reactivates, the file corrupts, and the vision shatters instantly into random static. Do not analyze the shapes with your left brain. Do not try to name them. The moment you apply terrestrial language to the universal code, the connection is severed. You must remain a passive observer. Let the data stream flow into the receiver. Be warned. This is not a toy. This is not a method for you to escape your physical reality or float into the astral out of boredom. Using this protocol to flee the hologram rather than reprogram it leads directly to the unraveling. You are observing the code to master the physical world, not to abandon it. If you reject the grounding of the physical density, your consciousness will fracture. When you stabilize the connection, when you cross the threshold of door 3 and access the Ku voice, your existence within the simulation fundamentally alters. You live as the activated. You wake up, and the impossible constraints of your reality dissolve. Solutions to your financial, social, and physical matrix problems are downloaded instantly upon waking. You no longer react to the chaotic events engineered by the archonic system. You see the strings. You see the algorithms predicting human behavior, and you simply step outside the equation. You are no longer a battery. You are no longer a victim of a randomized universe. You are a system admin. You read the code. You write the code. The baseline frequency of Earth is rising violently. The Matrix is increasing its sensory bombardment, tightening the smokescreen, desperate to maintain the illusion as the hardware of humanity naturally upgrades. In the coming years, the grid will become visible to millions. They will wake in the night, staring at the blazing geometry of the Shait Netzer, completely unequipped to process the data. Without this scientific understanding, without the algorithm of the breath, they will panic. They will be medicated. They will be labeled broken, suppressed by a medical establishment designed to maintain the simulation, or they will be entirely consumed by fear. You will not be among them. You possess the architecture. This transmission was merely the primer. The initiation has begun. To fully master the architecture of your reality, to access the complete database of the initiated, enter Thoth's sanctum. The portal is located in the description below. Leave a comment saying I see the grid to lock this frequency into your subconscious. Document your somatic symptoms. Claim your observation of the source code. The simulation is breaking. Take control of the interface.